Hi, I'm Diana and this is Sue. We're here at Rotary Botanical Gardens here in Janesville. The gardens were first conceived by Dr. Robert Yar in a letter to the city in 1988. And the city decided to set aside 15 acres for the development of the gardens. And we're here today filming because the gardens are a frequent reference question, information services question at our desk, and the gardens are a beautiful spot here in Janesville.
It's a popular place for wedding photos or prom photos, or you can just drive over on your lunch break and enjoy from the road or from the parking lot as well, or you can take a tour inside or walk through the gardens. In the winter, they also have holiday light viewing, and they have hundreds of thousands of lights, and each year it seems to get bigger with more people visiting. So it's a great place to visit year-round in Janesville.
And the buildings behind us were dedicated around the year 2003. We have an environmental center behind us, and the Rath Environmental Center and the Parker Education Building, so there's often programs and tours going on here at the gardens.
And there's a gift shop, so there's a little something for everyone. We're standing by the Jackson Street Bridge here in Janesville. This bridge was refurbished and remodeled in 2014 and reopened in 2015. Several different companies put out bids to the city of Janesville to do the work, and we were told that the winning bid was the only bid that included history of the bridge in their presentation.
The gentleman who won the design contest did come into the library and take a look at some of the historical information. His design was based on previous sketches and postcards and photographs of the bridge in its original form. Here we are at the Lincoln-Tallman campus. We have quite a few buildings that have been brought here to the Tallman House. The Tallman family lived here in the house from 1857 until 1915. It's one of the historic places here in Janesville, including a building that has archives of the Rock County Historical Society. And we do a lot of collaboration with the Rock County Historical Society at the information desk of the Hedberg Public Library.
The archives for the Rock County Historical Society and the Rock County Genealogical Society are combined. They work together to help answer people's questions. We get an opportunity to collaborate with both the Historical Society and Genealogical Society for research requests. They'll also often ask us for our help with a project and vice versa. So it's a nice opportunity for collaboration. And with our local history database, their staff and volunteers are able to access our indexes with the touch of a finger. So we are real pleased to have the opportunity to work together and help people find the information they need. We're standing at the beautiful Carnegie building. That was the Janesville Public Library. It opened in 1903. It was built by the J.P. Cullen Company, which is still in operation here in Janesville. The Janesville's Public Library actually started in 1865 when the Young Men's Association businessmen formed a club and decided to have a library. After that, local Ladies Temperance Union took over a library, made it available to the public, and it moved around town to various locations until this building was opened in 1903. And the Carnegie Foundation donated $30,000, while F.S. Eldred and family donated another $10,000 toward the project. It's currently housing the senior center for the city of Janesville, and prior to that, about 20 years ago, there were other activities and organizations here. I believe the City of Janesville Leisure Department was here for a while, the Recreation Department, and their little theater troupe as well. And then in the early 60s, mid 60s, the library became too crowded, and the next new building was built and opened to the public in 1968. But I remember coming here when I was a child, and this was a great library at that time too. So now we'll show you where the library is currently located, just up the street.
Sue and I are here at the Hedberg Public Library on South Main Street. This is also the location of the library as it was built in 1968 as the Janesville Public Library. And then the city of Janesville agreed that we should have a new library, and in May of 1994 we moved the contents of the library to the former Kmart building on the south side of Janesville, and we're there for 2 years, and then the beautiful Hedberg Public Library was opened in June of 1996.
We went from 41,000 square feet for the new building built here in 1968 to 63,000 square feet when we reopened in 1996. And it was, they actually stripped the original 1968 building down to its steel girders. They kept the original elevator and the lower level, but then everything else was brand new. So we're going to go inside and show you our local history collection, known as the Janesville Room.
Well, welcome to the Janesville Room here at Hedberg Public Library. We're in the room that's dedicated to Janesville and Rock County's local history. Within these four walls, we have all sorts of materials to help you research a question or to help staff help you do your research. And we're pleased to have this opportunity to share some of that with you today. But in this room, when the library was rebuilt in 1996, our major benefactors, Don and Geraldine Hedberg, wanted a nice room for the local history collection. And we also learned when researching another question, we found an article in the Janesville Gazette back in 1972, that April of 72, that the Janesville Room was being formed. And at that time, the librarians pulled all the resources together for local history and created a collection called the Janesville Room. So that collection's been in place for quite some time. And then once we moved here in 1996, they put this beautiful room together for us. So we're very pleased to have this resource. And in addition to the room, with our digital resources and our indexes, you can now access local history outside these four walls to help you find it fast, local history at your fingertips.
We find that we are using our print resources in this room just as much as, if not more than ever before. Even though we do have online sources and databases, they really send us in this direction. So when we're doing local history questions, we're oftentimes on the internet, on Newspaper Archive, Wisconsin Digital Library, our own in-home, in-house databases that lead us to the print sources. And they're just as important as ever before, including our collection of phone books that I see right over there that go back to 1968. We have found things in the phone books that we can't find other places. So all of these sources are very important, and many of them do not have an index. So that is why we decided to get started on the local history database. Our colleague Laura Gottlieb decided back in 2002, after doing a very rigorous reference question, that wow, it might be a great idea to have a database where the sources and the citations are right there and we can answer things quickly. And we are answering local history questions, at least initially, quite fast. We have information at our fingertips. This is the actual 6-drawer cabinet with the clippings and pamphlets here in the Janesville room, our pamphlet file, AKA vertical file. We actually have, and this is one of our larger folders, we actually have folders with a lot of clippings. Everything is alphabetical. We are constantly weeding. We are constantly changing and reassessing how we want the file to look and how much information we want in it, and whether or not we want to actually put the clippings in a binder and catalog for information for staff. And what we found with having the local history database is it is a great equalizer among staff. In the past, we had staff members who were kind of the local history experts, and now with the database, the local history database and the newspaper archives and Wisconsin Digital Collection and Janesville's Past, all these different databases have allowed staff members to become acquainted with Rock County history. We do trainings with all of our staff members, and we've just found it to be such a great resource for any of our patrons coming in. And the clipping files still, and our microfilm, all of the resources are all still being used on a weekly basis, if not daily. This cabinet here is our 6-drawer cabinet of our local history pamphlet file or vertical file. We have folders inside, and we have a lot of information in here. Some of our folders are getting quite full, and we have taken out clippings and actually put them in 3-ring binders, and we have cataloged the binders. And when this file was moved to this location in 1996, we did a major weeding project and new folder project. So we have not just newspaper clippings in here, but we have pamphlets in here that date back, some of them, many decades. So we're hanging on to some of that. We did decide to stop clipping in 2013, except for some 10 or 15 high-profile subjects, such as Paul Ryan, but yet we are still indexing the Janesville Gazette newspaper daily, and we still use this source on a weekly, if not sometimes daily basis. It's just as applicable in 2017 as it was 40, 50 years ago.